Since 2010, the Cade Prize for Innovation has drawn creative thinkers affiliated with research universities and the private sector. These ideas spark inventions that can lead to great outcomes in the future. Now, I caught up with the 2014 Cade Prize winner, Associate Professor of USF, Dr. Ye.
Thanks, Mike, for having me on the show. I also want to clarify, I didn't win the Cade Prize, my team did. So it's absolutely a team effort. We have a great team of students at USF, and collectively we won the prize in 2014. Tell you a little bit about our invention, the new generator, right? So let's start with this morning, right? I assume that you, like everybody else, your listeners, went to the bathroom. So did I. Okay, but it's not a very remarkable event. You just essentially flush and forgot about it. But that's because we have this really extensive infrastructure underground that takes away our waste and treats it. Well, unfortunately for about almost 3 billion people on the planet, they don't have that. So what happens is they continue to be affected by poor sanitary conditions. And it's so bad that every 15 seconds, a child would die from waterborne illnesses. So what we set out to do with our Cade Prize in 2014 was to develop a solution for this. For a lot of countries, including parts of the United States, having these sewer systems is really not practical and not possible and not affordable. So we developed a sort of an off-grid wastewater treatment system that can recycle the water back into clean water. And the coolest part about this is that it's entirely solar power. So you don't have to worry about lack of electricity. You can just drop this anywhere in the world and it'll do its job.
New invention, Doctor, the new generator, nutrients, energy, and water is what the new stands for, just has so many applications. Okay, we talked about some of those, but it also, this gets my attention as a meteorologist, can help folks around the world that are affected by hurricanes, cyclones, depending on where you are, they call those cyclones, or typhoons. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so usually when there's a disaster, unfortunately, the infrastructure gets knocked out. So immediately afterwards, you're going to have second or third waves of disasters, including unsanitary conditions. What you often notice after a disaster, though, is that it's sunny because the storm has gone away. So this is a perfect opportunity to have some type of a solar-powered device that can bring you clean water and clean sanitation. So we're hoping our technology could fit that mold, something that we'll be able to drop in post-disaster and help people get on the path of recovery.
Amazing. So this has huge benefits and ramifications. I mean, this could affect billions of people here on Earth. And even as we look at the future here, we're also talking about space exploration. How could this invention go into helping NASA out?
Yeah, so what we've developed essentially is an off-grid solution, right? And if you're going to talk off-grid, the moon, Mars, those are the ultimate off-grid locations. So as you get further and further away from Earth, it becomes increasingly difficult to resupply water and fertilizer to grow crops. So our invention will do that. We'll be able to help NASA recycle the water and recover the fertilizer so we can grow crops. And so we're currently working with Kennedy Space Center to develop sort of the next generation water recycling system.
Tell us more about how this idea came about with your team.
Yeah, so I'm an environmental engineer, so this is what we do. We develop solutions to make clean water. And I've been working on this concept probably for the past 20 years. And it wasn't until I came to USF and was able to be connected with the right funding like the Cade Prize that we were able to actually bring this idea to fruition.
This goes to show you one idea could change the world. What is your advice for folks out there that have these ideas?
I think you have to just be tenacious. If you think it's going to work, you need to just keep going at it. And you need to be creative about different types of funding sources. You need to just make sure you have forward progress, and eventually it'll catch on and it'll start to gain momentum.
Very good. Well, I really appreciate you. And of course, this all started with the Cade Prize, your wonderful team, the tenacity, 20 years in the making. So we look forward to hearing more about this invention in the future, Doctor.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you so much for being with us. And of course, for another look at this segment, head to firstcoastliving.net later today.